Hello and welcome to the Global Electronics Report. It's Friday, September 30th and my name is David Burford. Huawei is set to start manufacturing phones in India by the end of this month, in partnership with contract manufacturer Flextronics. As the world's third largest smartphone maker, they join a slew of Chinese peers to produce devices locally. The devices will be made in Flextronics' assembly plant near Chennai, where it already makes smartphones for Lenovo and Motorola, according to people aware of the matter. A formal announcement to this effect is likely to be made within the next fortnight, they said. Huawei may begin with a capacity of 200,000 units a month, but it can scale up rapidly as the plant has enough capacity to take on more orders, said one of the persons who did not wish to be identified. BlackBerry resorts to outsourcing. The iconic Canadian cell phone manufacturer has announced that it is planning to outsource its design and hardware development. Dr. Bev Christian told Global SMT and Packaging that his research and development labs had been closed and the equipment sold off. BlackBerry sales have been dropping against continued pressure from larger rivals Apple and Samsung. The company reported sales of around 400,000 in its second quarter, which is lower than the previous two quarters. Company President John Chen says that this strategic change to BlackBerry's business model is necessary to bring the company back into profit. The majority of news this week is coming from SMT AI in Chicago, where the global SMT and packaging team have been busy interviewing and reporting on the latest new products and processes. I spoke with Trevor Galbraith to get his views on this. Thank you, Trevor, for joining me. This was the first year without Joanne Stromberg. How was the conference program this year?
It was remarkably good, actually. The conference was very busy. All sessions were well attended. Organisation with Tanya Martin and her team was excellent. Some of the key topics at the conference were around high temperature materials for under the hood applications, with the increase in autonomous vehicles coming down the pipe and all the different features getting built into cars. That was a very hot area. Another area was voiding. That seems to be an increasing problem. So there was quite a few discussions and debates on that, not least of which we did ourselves in our own panel discussions, which you'll see later this week on Global SMT TV.
And was it a busy show this year?
The show was busy, yeah. There's about 170 exhibitors. The big difference this year was that there was an awful lot of equipment on the show floor. Normally this has been very much a conference-led event with tabletop exhibits, but this year was different because there was an awful lot of equipment actually on the show floor, which was nice. So it's turning into a real exhibition. Did
you see any new innovative products?
There were a couple that caught my eye. The most significant, I think, was the inline soldering system from Promation. Promation have basically got into a strategic partnership with a company called Quick in China. Quick is a very large soldering company in China, but it has virtually no footprint outside of China. Gary Goldberg at Promation has basically co-designed this inline soldering system, which is remarkably well designed. It's one of the best designed machines I've seen for a long time. It is really quite exciting. We took a pretty close look at it, and there is an in-depth video going to be coming up next week on that one. The other product I saw that caught my eye was from Charlie Moncavage at SMT Tooling. Now, Charlie's background is essentially he was the CEO at Ovation, which made the Gridlock product, which was the board support system that was used in a lot of deck machines and NPM and all the rest of them. But nowadays, with the amount of the population of devices and components on the board and the miniaturization, it's very difficult for some of these pin pop-up type supports to they're always getting in the way of the devices. So Charlie's come out with a system which basically molds to the shape of the board. It's a very simple process. The turnaround is very quick, and I thought it was sometimes the simplest ideas are the best. So that's the two that caught my eye.
Many thanks for joining me today, Trevor. SMT played host to the Global Technology Awards this year. 31 awards were presented to winners from across the industry, representing the best new innovations from the past 12 months. Notably, there were a number of Chinese entrants this year, as the Global Technology Awards are recognised as the most prestigious awards. The Global SMT and Packaging team recorded a number of in-depth panel discussions on a variety of topics. Despite some initial glitches with live broadcasting from the show floor, these debates were lively, engaging and informative. You can see them on our Facebook or video website. Siemens, along with labour representatives, have agreed to cut 1,700 jobs in Germany as part of a restructuring of its process industry and drives units. A spokesman remarked that the cuts would take place over a 4-year period and that there would be no compulsory redundancies. Restructuring charges are expected to be 250 to 300 million euros, that's 281 to 337 million dollars. That's it for this week. Check back with Trevor Galbraith next week for more top stories from around the electronics world.